Bearcat Bounce Podcast. Back at it again. Monday. College football is back. Monday with week 0. Week 0 is upon us. That's right. There will be college football streaming on platforms that you can dive into and digest. And we are what, 10 days away? We are Chuck McClellan away, old number Chuck McClellan, and we are exactly what? It's the 18th, 28th is kickoff. In an hour, I'm going to be excited because I'm going to announce we are counting down continuously to the beginning of year 3 for the Bearcats in the Big 12. Coach Scott Satterfield. Oh man, excitement is born, but it's also a Monday where I get to have a little Superlative Monday. Chad Brendel's favorite segment of all time. So without further ado, the whole crew is assembled. The squad is back. So Aaron Smith, Chad Brendel, Ryan Royer. Gentlemen, how are we?
Good. It was pretty chill weekend. Didn't do a whole lot. It's kind of that last calm weekend for a long time. So took it pretty easy. Hung out, and it was the neighbor's birthday. Hung out in the driveway. Had a good time. Watched Xavier fans crash out because I live in rent-free in their head. Other than that, didn't do a whole lot. I'm ready. I'm charged up. I'm recharged. I'm ready for football. Although tonight's a tough one.
Okay, let's hear.
I'm in for Mo tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to watch this Bengals game.
Mm-hmm.
And the Reds are on the West Coast, so I have to do that. But also give enough credence to your favorite show of the year and maybe my least favorite.
Your favorite. I'm putting a spin on it. You're gonna like this.
Okay.
It's gonna be like a washer and a dryer spin cycle, brother. You're gonna enjoy this. It's gonna be quite the jam. I'll tell you that much. But yeah,
is that Joe Royer that's with us, or
that is hair on fleek?
Curly
hair on fleek in that bottom left, baby.
I got the cousin Joe do going. I didn't have time to shower before I got on, so
brother, you don't
here's a little crazy right now, so bear with me.
Hey man, we'll do all the bearing down we can. But Chad, busy night. You know, there are those things out there these days. I think you can record things, right?
And, I mean, I've got the game recording. I'll go, but
you got to be on your toes. I agree. Is there more of a roller coaster than the Cincinnati Reds right now? Golly.
I mean, that's what happens when you don't do enough to make your roster good and you do just enough to make your roster okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of ups and downs.
There are a lot of finger pointing, a lot of why isn't he up yet? A lot of why is he going down? What's going on? But we'll see what happens there. But happy to have you back over there in the Cincy Light studio. Always looking great. But Aaron, you're ready for a little Hoodin Nation on a Monday night, a little Desmond Ritter action. How are we, man?
Don't forget Jamoy Mays.
A little Jamoy Mays action, yeah.
But my daughter started her first day of preschool today, so that was a milestone. She cried when I picked her up. She did not want to leave.
Oh, that's a good thing then, right?
She thoroughly enjoyed her time.
Good.
Good. So one day down. We'll be picking that back up on Wednesday. So that was the big event today.
That's a good event, monumentous. So congratulations, Aaron.
Thanks,
Daddy Aaron, if you will, tonight. We'll leave.
You had to make it weird.
Nope, I did not. Ryan, the boy, Mr. Roya, how are we, my man?
I'm doing well. Doing real well.
Yeah. Weekend good. Solid.
Weekend good. Solid weekend. I went to Maine with my family on a little trip. Went up to Acadia, and then Portland. Really fun trip. It's I've never really been up to that northeast side of the country. Two great spots. Highly recommend if anyone's thinking of going up there. There's plenty of great lobster.
I was gonna say
a lot of good character city. Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of good character, really cool environments. So I got done with that, got back around Saturday. So just kind of getting back to normal life here. First day back at work from vacation, can't get much better than that. Checking the email, seeing what Swarm has stirred up in it, but everything's good.
Are you an email guy that like you have to get rid of all the unread emails, or do you have like 275 unread?
No, I have to. I have like created folders in my inbox because I got to keep track of a bunch of different stuff going on with the job. So I have a really organized inbox, Brent. I'm sure that's the type of subject we should dive into it really deep tonight. Let's can the whole show and talk about work emails.
No, I saw one guy like last week, and just had a glance at his computer, and his inbox was just out of control for his work email, and I felt like I needed to say something. Yeah, like, but like my personal email, I get a lot of junk in that personal email, but your work email, you gotta get that thing on 0 unread. 0 unread.
Exactly.
72 185 is how many unread emails I currently have.
I gotta cancel some of those subscriptions. You got some of those subscriptions from 2010 still on there.
I have 4 that I can't find. Like they're just somewhere in my red emails. There's 4 of them. So I could delete everything I can find, and it says there's 4.
Oh man,
that's a daily thing for me. That's got to be at 4. I got to have it at 4.
That's then 4 is a good number. A little munchy to go. A little fun there. What? So 10 this year. We got Caleb Goody, Taden Barnes. If I'm not, obviously haven't been able to make it to any of the camps, but 10 days away, guys. Gosh, that's exciting. But yeah, Ryan, good for you, man. I'm happy you get that 0 in the inbox. You got a little lobster rolls in you, a little Maine trip. God, you refresh and you're ready for a good old show today. Did you guys drive up there in Maine?
No, we flew into Portland, and then it's a 3.5 hour drive to Bar Harbor, which is the town that's like the town if you're going to Acadia. That's like where the most is going on. So that's where a lot of like visitor tourists go. And so we went up there for 3 days and then drove back to Portland for the final 4 days. So there was some driving involved.
Hey, there was. It's tough because like if you did drive up there, it would be crazy. Be a lot of damage on your new car that you got that one time that you were out there on the East Coast and you drove all the way back from Philadelphia. It's a lot of wear and tear. But guess what? You can head over to Danco Transmission and Auto Care, get that wear and tear figured out, get an oil change, get everything done. Danco Joe, I gotta have a sit down with Danco Joe here soon.
Speaking of that car, Danco just took care of my car for me. I brought it in for its first 5,000 miles I put on it. Him and the guys checked it out, got all the fluids right, got the oil change and everything. So
what was he saying? Is he amped up for the season?
Oh, we were sitting there talking. We were talking ball for about 40 minutes in there. He's excited. He's ready to go. He has that optimism that we've kind of been alluding to the past couple of weeks. So, but he was talking about that O-line, Chad. He wants to know about the O-line, like he was saying a couple of weeks ago.
I don't know what else he wants me to tell him. I got to see him against somebody else.
Give me the nitty gritty on the O-line.
He's a ball knower. He knows how important they are. And so he needs the inside information because that's going to be a big key for us this year, how those guys can step in.
But we don't know how good the D-line is outside of Dontay. So, like, I
heard that Dontay guy's pretty good, but
he's pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty good. Well, they've held up. We'll get to it. There's going to be superlatives. I'm sure we're going to – they've held up well throughout camp. So they get a positive rating going into the lead up to Nebraska. But that could all fall apart next Thursday night in Arrowhead. Like, I don't know yet.
Gosh.
There's the superlatives. They're over with. Let's get on to the next segment. Chad hit it right on the head.
It's pretty funny, right? Chad, you say it like that. That could be like a movie or like a book someone write. That one Thursday in Arrowhead. It really a lot's riding on that,
Bearcats 30 for 30, man.
Baby.
Oh,
I
do I have something? So Saturday night when I got back, sitting there, I go to this bar in Mount Lookout called the Vault. They have 2 pool tables, so me and my buddies, we like to go shoot some pool there.
Yeah.
And as we're getting ready to leave, I look over and I see this guy, big white beard. He's got the hair slicked back. Looking. I'm like, I know that guy, but like the beard was throwing me off. It's Mr. Rick Flick himself, sitting in there enjoying the live music. I catch up with him. We're talking, and he reiterates the same point we've been making over and over: how big of a statement win this Nebraska game would be for the program. Just kind of like how everything's kind of teetering right on that edge of like, all right, we're on the launch pad. We're either gonna fail and we're not gonna take off, and we're gonna have to keep searching for answers, or we're gonna getting a win out in Arrowhead would really launch the program to new heights. So Rick Flick is in with the BCJ Pods analysis. So. And he's looking damn good with the beard. Yeah, he's the best.
God damn. There's nothing better than just spotting a legend out in the wild like that. You know what I mean? Just go up, you just rev them, you get a good feel of what the pulse is. Because you know what? We've been sitting here for months talking about how exciting this upcoming Thursday is. Next Thursday it is. So we're gonna have to see what happens, because I think everyone's got that same pulse. It's like, golly, this is such an important game. Before we dive in real fast, when I'm bored, when I have like a Sunday after a long weekend, and you're like, I need something to cheer me up, I throw on something to get you happy. Watch a little bit of the Cincinnati Notre Dame game from that 2021 season. Then I threw on just like the beginning of some of the games, and I threw on the beginning of the Alabama game. Were you out there for the opening kickoff, Ryan?
I was.
Dude, I couldn't find you. I paused it. Are you like the 6th man over?
I thought you meant you were being like silly. Like, were you out there?
No,
did you
I'm
see
being
that?
serious.
Well, no, we kicked off first, so I was on the sideline. I wasn't on kickoff.
Oh, you're on kickoff return. Okay. Well,
I was jumping around like a fool on the sideline.
There we go.
Soaking it in.
And you know what? I will say this, Chad. Your synopsis is right. AP should have came down with that pass, but that's we're gonna leave it there.
I think he would tell you that. Like, it wasn't the greatest throw in the world.
No,
but I think AP would tell you, like, I probably should have pulled that one in.
Yeah, but you know what was awesome? That team was just spectacular. 13-0 going into that game. Golly, imagine the excitement if this team can get that rocking and rolling. And guess what that team did back in 2021? They finished up camp. And after finishing up camp, we were like, oh, guess what our thoughts are after camp finished up? And we're going to do the same thing right now, so we get that same vibe that we had back in 2021. So, Chad Brendel, camp has finished up. Now it's time to get ready for what? Game prep week will probably begin Saturday.
I mean, they'll still do I think Saturday is how Saturday is Monday or whatever.
Right.
With the way that the days work out. Sunday, I think, would be Tuesday. So, they'll have practice this week, but they won't go like heavy Nebraska. Although I'm sure, like, this week has always been kind of the week after camp leading up to game week. Ryan knows, like, it's just kind of a fine tune, couple hard days probably, and then give them a day or two off at the end of the week, and then get rocking and rolling, getting ready for Nebraska.
Guarantee they're watching film on them right now. They're probably throwing that in the meetings, but probably a lot of situational stuff. Start working on like kind of crazy scenarios, end of game stuff, special teams, kind of like things that, during camp you're trying to just get 11 on 11, get some good film on there, like see who you can start counting on in the 1s and 2s. But now they probably have a good idea of who they're going to want to, have out there, and kind of start to think about in the film room and scheming up stuff coaching wise. But then on the field, they'll probably just be going over kind of not as much like hard nosed, like getting after it just a little bit more. Like, all right, let's make sure we have all our I's dotted and T's crossed. But there's definitely been some film going in, so hopefully the staff is starting to pick their battles and figure out how we can exploit some of these Cornhuskers.
You know, that's the craziest thing for me is like film study these days. Like, I guess you're just watching film study on scheme, because with so much turnover these days, I guess, like, what are you gonna?
But they don't. I mean, their quarterback is back. Like,
right.
This one's a little different because there's actually going to be some film that you can decipher things from.
True. Yeah, and well, but also for them, because I know Matt Rule in a recent like interview was talking about how he was watching like Middle Tennessee State tape to see what Cincinnati's special teams might look like this like it's just there's just so much just weirdness that goes into how to study film now with so much turnover on these teams. So I obviously that extra week is probably pretty important, but we're gonna wrap up camp talk just real quick. Obviously scrimmage number 2 was this past weekend. Chad, you were there, and squad was in attendance. Keegan had a nice write-up on the board about it. What I guess obviously when it gets to this point in camp, we've kind of touched on every single thing, but it did sound like the defensive line kind of had maybe their best day or one of the best days that they've had.
They were
bouncing
active.
back. Yeah. So
there was very little ones-on-ones. So, I mean, if we were doing a camp superlative, I think I'd have CJ McCray as my camp MVP.
Oh, baby. Of the entire thing, offense,
of the entire defense,
oh,
of
wow.
the entire
Okay,
defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in terms of what do we always talk about when we talk about camp reporting? Yeah, it's important that guys flash, and it's important that you see as many guys flashing, but you also have to keep in mind it's practice. Like they're out there doing dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of reps. So guys are going to make a play here and there.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see a guy that it felt like every day we had a CJ McCray note, or most every day.
Yeah.
And for me, that's a big, gold star next to the guy's name that we kept talking about him regularly. So, but yeah, overall the defensive line had a good day, but it was a lot of 2s and 3s. I think they said the 1s took about 30 snaps. A lot of that was early, and then they brought him back in late at the very end. So it was a good scrimmage. It was competitive. That's been kind of my key word throughout camp, is that it's been competitive. It hasn't swung too far one way or the other, where you had 3-4 days where the offense, like 3-4 days in a row where the offense was just rolling. Right. It felt like there was, Aaron, what did I have the biggest problem with in basketball last year? It never felt like when there was a bad day, anybody acted like their back was against the wall. Just
I thought it was just because they were soft. That's what you had the biggest issue.
But that's part of being soft. That's part of being soft. Like, if you lose and you're not pissed off the next time out, you're soft. Like, that's the biggest red flashing light that you're soft. We've seen
when you're laughing on the bench.
Yeah, well, I don't put too much into that. That's a fan overreaction thing. I don't care about it that much. When your back's against the wall, or when you have a bad day, how do you respond to it? And so far in practice, I've seen both sides of the ball have a rough day, have the other side get the best of them, and then respond the next day. And for me, that's a very positive sign about where things are headed.
Yeah, I think you asked Logan Wilson that. It's like, hey, Caleb Goody got the best of you on that one deep ball. Like, how do you bounce back from that, or something along those lines? So it does seem like it has been kind of a back and forth punching match. So that's good to hear. As Bearcat 101 says, Bengals defense, LOL. It's a preseason, guys.
Their starters are in. They're The
Are they getting
Redskins
work?
the Redskins have snapped the ball twice and gained like 60 yards on the ground. And like 50 of them have been just untouched, just guys running free. Yeah,
Also,
they're
Trey
at the
Hendrickson
15.
wouldn't help that anyway. But
No, not in the run game.
Snatch up, Chase, Higgins, and Burrow in all your fantasy leagues where you can, guys.
Yeah.
Some high scoring affairs. Oh, and by the way, Ryan, congratulations on QB1 up there in Cleveland. Mr. 40.
The
Mr. 40.
return.
Uncle Joe.
The return to glory.
Uncle Joe, yet again. Flacco, man. Anyway, so it does sound good, like it's been competitive, Chad, but and kind of the thing that I saw a little bit on the board as well is what Dave was talking about in a couple of podcasts was the fact that, you hear the mentions of CJ McCray. You don't quite hear the Micah Coleman mentions and the, even like a Rob Jackson mention or anything of those lines. Is it just because maybe McCray might have some more flash plays, some splashier ones than kind of a more consistent run stopping that Coleman's going to bring? Or maybe when the ball's snapped in a game scenario, we might see other players have a different type pulse on it. I don't know. It just seems like that D line outside of Dontay, and it's just and Jalen Hunt's just trying to figure out who's going to be the one that really steps up on that opposite side.
I don't know.
Yeah, right. That's one of my superlative questions. Kind of loops that in. So yeah, I don't know. I just like, because all I've got is reading practice reports and kind of hearing what you guys say and whatnot. And I haven't quite heard the mentions of too many people outside of McCray. So, and
there haven't been a lot of guys consistently getting to the quarterback besides him.
Right.
And
the known commodities. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's hope they get some sort of a bounce back. But you know what, guys, this is the end of camp is great. We BCJ, if you want to, you can literally go back and read every single piece of content, listen to every single pod, and Nightcap talking about it. You can get a good synopsis on how camp went. But the season's here. It's time for Chad's favorite show of every season. You know what? It's Ryan's favorite segment outside of the Riffing with Royer, because that's my favorite segment. This is Chad's favorite and Aaron's favorite and Ryan's second favorite, and it's called Superlatives. We have season superlatives on deck right now, but I'm going to put a little twist on it.
Are we going to timestamp first, or?
Yeah, we can timestamp.
All right. This timestamp, our first timestamp of the night, brought to you by Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. Quick Paper services over 150 restaurants with weekly low minimum next day deliveries. They provide a wide range of food service products, from to-go containers, cups, custom printed products, eco-friendly, and much more. They also have cleaning and restroom supplies for all your janitorial needs. Call Nick 513-470-2029 and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases.
Boom, baby. Most of the time when we do superlatives, like, I can just tell how excited everyone on the pod is when I say, who do you guys think will be the leading pass catcher on this season on the team for this season? I can just, Aaron's like eyes light up and he gets a big smile on his face and he's like, yes, I love when Brett asked this. So now put a little twist on it. I'm going to get a little bit more captivating, a little bit more, Ryan will be like, yeah, Brent is really on one tonight and he's doing a great job. And then, it's going to get conversation flowing. That's the goal of every podcast, right? So instead of just saying who's going to lead the team in receiving, I kind of thought of this as I was just sitting, enjoying the beautiful sun here in Florida. And then I saw Keegan even kind of was thinking the same thing with his bold predictions. And so I just started putting two and two together. And before you know it, we've got superlative hot take open board discussions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just throw out something. And then I want you guys to then pop in and be like, no, I disagree with that. Or I agree with that. And kind of give your thoughts on it. And then we move on to the next one. These could be as quick or as long as you guys want them to be. So opening one, Keegan kind of had something along these lines as well. But he went all the way to say greater than Gino Guidugli's single season. I'm just going to say Brendan Sorsby will pass for the most yards of any quarterback in the past decade. So he had 2,813 last year. In the past decade, the leader is Desmond Ridder in that special season, 3,334 passing yards. Brendan Sorsby is going to throw for more than Desmond Ridder did in that 2021 season. Gents?
Ryan, you
don't know.
played on the team that's in question here. Aaron, go ahead.
I was just say I don't think it's if this team is who I think they can be, if they can get somewhere in that 8 to 10 range, wins that is. I don't think that it's crazy talk for him to have a season like that where you're 2,900 would eclipse where he needs to be, right?
No,
3,300.
He would need
33,
40, pretty much.
I mean, that's still one more game, I guess, if you're hitting like that. So yeah, I mean, if this is inarguably the best receiving core that Scott Satterfield has had since he's been here. I think it's probably the best receiving core since Alec and Trey and Tyler Scott. So I don't know. I mean, there you have Scott Satterfield kind of on a hot seat, at least warm. So I would think, and Brendan Sorsby is looking probably at the NFL as a next step. So for all of these things to fall into place, I think he has to have a season like that. So I'm looking forward to him having, I think 3,000 is probably a floor for him as far as goals go. So I don't think 3,300 is crazy talk by any stretch.
Okay. Royer.
All right. So 3,300 divided by 13. 250 a game. So that, because if he's going to be 3,300, I mean, you'd think would be in a bowl game. But who knows? He might not play it. Depends on what bowl game it is. I could see him having games where he's up to 350, and I could see him. I think 250 is pretty doable for him. That's if the receiving core performs at the level that we're anticipating it does. But yeah, I mean, you see the hype, not only of like scouts looking at him hard. That's the indicator of, all right, the talent is there, and he's been, last year is not a really good indication of his overall ability. And because if like you could watch the games like, oh, he didn't throw for any yards, they sucked, so he must not be good enough. But the fact that the NFL, they know ball. That's why they're in the NFL. They're scouting him hard, and they're saying this is a guy that we have on our radar, and he's flying under the radar of a lot of media and like different people like who comment on college football. But I do think that he's definitely capable of breaking that record. I don't know if I'm going to go out on a limb and say he will, because I don't even think he needs to break that record for this team to, make a push for that 8-win mark. I think if he's throwing the ball for 180 yards and the offense is running the ball well, defense is playing on a higher level than last year is what we're all anticipating them to play. Like, you're not going to need every single week for him to have 250 yards passing for this team to be successful. I think he's gonna hover right around that 3,000 mark, and I think that's going to be a really solid year for him. But if he does make that jump up and make that extra push to like that 3,400, I think we should all be looking around and saying, all right, if that win total isn't right at that 8 mark, then some other facet of this team exploded in a bad way.
Yeah. Agreed.
I have a hard time seeing any games he's under 200, barring like weather, circumstances that are beyond the control of a good passing offense. I think there are enough weapons. There's enough of a running game. And more importantly, I think this is probably going to be the best pass blocking line that we've seen in the Satterfield era.
Mm-hmm.
I think he goes over. I think I'm more with Keegan. Like 3,500 was within reach last year until things fell. I mean, you remember the last 5 games, like it was bad. Like he was on that path through the first 7 games last year and kind of fell off a cliff and ended up at 28 when he probably should have ended up at 33 or so last year. If he maintains even close to that pace he was on early, I think they do a better job finishing this year. Although I do think there are some, and Dave and I will probably get into this Wednesday night. I think there are some similarities schedule wise where you've got a chance to really get out to a pretty hot start. And if you do, I think it's because Sorsby was really good. So I'm going to go over. I think he's going to get it. And it might be, I don't want to say comfortably because that's a stretch, but 250 a game, I think is very, very doable. And I think the way this league is going to be this year, with the emphasis more towards the passing game than the running game than it was a year ago, you're going to have some of those Saturdays where everybody's slinging the ball around and you're looking at 350. You're looking at those big number days because you just don't have a choice. If you're going to keep up, you're going to have to drop him back there 35 times and have him pushing the ball down the field. My God, this defense is so bad. Holy shit. I'm gonna go over. I think he's gonna break Gino's record. I think he's gonna be have the best season in program history throwing the football in terms of yards.
Okay. Well, so my only pushback, obviously, because I just posed it out there, is that Coach Scott Satterfield coach team has not had a 3,000-yard passer, whether it be at Appalachian or
but he was at 2,800 last year.
Exactly. I think that's kind of the main pulse there. He's actually has the second highest single season passing yardage, and for any Satterfield coach team. What are they doing? I'm not even watching. Is it that crazy? Anyway,
giving a
so
long run after long. It's mad.
Every play. Like every play, everybody is blocked, and a running back is just running down the field with nobody in the screen. Every play.
Well, hopefully they get it figured out. Mr. Golden will get it figured out one day. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously it's better pass catchers and an opportunity to really take off. It's kind of funny. You see, he was the 43rd in most passing yards last season in college football. Guess who was 42nd? Mr. Dylan Raiola of Nebraska. So quite the interesting random tidbit there. So something to watch. Next up, Tawee Walker will have the most carries of any player on the team, but he will not lead the team in rushing yards or rushing touchdowns. Thoughts?
That's crazy talk.
You think so?
I don't believe.
How many touchdowns do you think Corey Kiner had last year? He only had 4. Evan Pryor had more than him, and Brendan Sorsby had more than him.
Sorsby had 9. Somebody at the end of the game decided not to run the ball enough, and that cost us several wins. So I don't want to get into that. But no, Tawee Walker will have the most touchdowns on the team. He will have more than receivers. He will have more than the running backs. That's I don't like whatever you just said. All of it together was terrible.
I mean, Kiner had 1,000 yards last year and only 4 rushing touchdowns.
Again, point to the end of the game in like 3 or 4 games where he should have just ran the ball.
It doesn't mean Kiner was going to get a touchdown.
Probably increases those percentages.
He wasn't a guy that found the end zone a lot. He's a great running back. He was not a running back that lived in the end zone.
What's the stat you like to pull up though, Chad? As far as didn't Tawee lead all backs in touchdowns, or was it yardage?
It was yardage.
Okay. I imagine
Yardage.
touchdowns is probably up there as well, though.
He had 10 rushing touchdowns last year. Sorsby
Yeah.
had 9 rushing touchdowns last year.
I think he's going to have 12. I think he's going to rush
Let's go.
for 800. And I think Evan Pryor is going to rush for right around 600 with 7 touchdowns. I'm taking full fading your statements, Brent. I think Tawee's got to be the guy because I don't know the way that he runs the football and the way that I think Satterfield's going to want to use him is a little bit different from Evan Pryor. But who knows? I mean, we haven't seen Evan Pryor play since last season. They might be looking to get him more involved in the every down run style versus last year when he was kind of like targeted for like big explosive plays, where you had Corey being what I think Tawee is gonna. They're very similar too. They're similar in stature. They're similar in their run style. They're physical, yards after contact, and I think that's why they went and got him, because they knew what they had in Corey, and they saw how well he fit Satterfield's offense. So I'm anticipating a plug and play option with Tawee, and I think he's gonna, have another solid year comparable to what he did in Wisconsin. But I still think Evan's going to have a great year and take a step forward. I think they're going to give him more carries this year, but I think Tawee's shown that he can perform in a run style offense, and I think that fits kind of Satterfield's run scheme. So I anticipate him, carrying the load at running back.
I mean, it would be hard not to give Pryor more carries than he had last year. He had 4 carries a game last year. So I think that number is going to go, I would guess 10, 11 a game.
Mm-hmm.
If you're running it 30 times a game, Sorsby's going to gobble up probably 5, 6 of those. So that's like probably 15, 16, 17 carries for Tawee, somewhere in there.
Yep.
So
see, Chad, it's not that far fetched. I mean, it could be Pryor outgains Tawee by 80 yards, and then Sorsby has 2 more rushing touchdowns than Tawee has.
The question, honestly, is probably going to be how many short goal
line, yeah.
Because you have to think they're going to give it a kid as physical and as strong as Tawee.
Yeah.
You would think they're going to have to give it to him and let him batter his head in there and try to get across the goal line, although Aaron will probably disagree.
I think Tawee's going to get those carries. I would hope he gets those carries.
Very good.
And I think there's going to be, if things go according to plan with, how we mentioned Sorsby going for the record and we have better receivers, you'd think that Sorsby wouldn't be as involved in the run game scheme. Whereas I think last year, a lot of his yards and touchdowns came from, hey, we can't really throw the ball, so let's, add another ball carrier the defense has to account for every play, whether you're running the option or you're using a running back and a quarterback designed run for an extra blocker since we can't throw the freaking ball. You'd think Sorsby might be less involved in the run game this year because he's doing
He did not run it a lot the first 7 games.
No.
That was almost all the back half of the year.
Yep.
One of the times he ran it is when he was should have ran it is when he was scrambling around and then threw the ball up in the air to the pit guy. And
oh gosh. That was a freaking horror game. Anyway.
Let's hope we don't see that again. I don't think we will.
See, guys, this is a more fun superlative. I agree. Good job, guys. Good job. All right. Joe Royer will be the only pass catcher to be named to an all-conference selection, but he will not lead the team in any major receiving statistic. So you can take one or two avenues. You can say, no, I actually think that Cyrus Allen will also be on,
Yeah.
And
I'm just, yeah.
feel like the only stat Royer's going to lead in this season might be receptions. And even that,
I don't think he's going to.
I'm good. That means the receiving corps did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah,
I'm-
you're not.
I'm a-
You can't have a tight end with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with him being the comfort blanket. And even if it's like, the 3 yards here, 5 yards there. But yeah, I would hope that the receivers end up beating him.
Yeah, I mean, Royer was 9 receptions away from leading the team last year, and he only had 3 receiving touchdowns. Tony Johnson had 6. Xavier Henderson led the team in receptions and yards.
Yeah, you gotta
I mean-
have a wide out lead in yards and touchdowns, receptions. I don't think
We
Royer's
know-
gonna touch that.
What, 50 catches? That's where the number last year,
That was the record, yeah.
and that was the record.
Mhm.
I don't see him getting a whole lot more than 60. I would certainly hope one of the guys outside has more than 50 catches.
Yeah, please.
So
I mean, considering Xavier Henderson had a couple of games where he had 10-plus catches, and then he just completely disappeared in other games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a little bit more consistency there would be nice.
So I think that's actually a pretty good one, Brent, because I think it might end up being true that because again, we're talking about a league that is centered around quarterback. There's going to be a lot of wide receivers at the top of this league vying for first, second team all conference selection.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say you're right, Brent. I think you're right. I'm going to agree with Brent here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Same as well.
Next, 2 offensive linemen will be named to an all-conference team, and Gavin Gerhardt will be remembered as one of the most important Bearcats of the past 25 seasons.
How many teams do we have now? Is it 5, right? Do we have first team, second team, third team, fourth team, fifth team?
No.
I think just
First,
3.
second, honorable mention.
Yeah, first, second.
And was it preseason that I saw that they had 5 teams?
Yeah, probably like people projecting. Let me.
All right, maybe
I'll
that's
take a
what it
look.
was. 'Cause I thought it was only first and second team as well, and then all of a sudden I saw fourth and fifth team. I'm like, what are we doing? 2. I say under on 2. I think it's just gonna be 1.
Okay,
I'd
who's your
love
pick?
Tarantayo.
Wow.
I could see us getting 3.
Ooh.
I love that.
Yeah,
I mean that means the offense. That means the offense had a phenomenal year.
Mhm.
I mean, Sorsby went for almost 4.
Yeah.
You seeing 1, Chad?
I could see 2.
Yeah.
Like if there did we determine is there 3 or is there only 2?
No, it's 2, and there's only 2 conference teams, and then honorable mention. So
Yeah. I'll go 1 first or second team guy and then 2 honorable mention guys. So there'll be 3 guys named, but only 1 on the first or second team.
That's
Again,
fair.
16 team league, man.
yeah,
There's a lot of dudes.
hmm
It's a lot
Yeah.
of dudes.
especially considering that I mean, it is crazy to look like on the second team All Big 12 last year. Kansas had 3 offensive linemen on the second team. Kansas State had the other 2. So, I mean, it's possible out there. And then let's see, our first team was, Kendra was a first team selection. Then you had West Virginia, Utah, BYU, Arizona State. So you can sprinkle it in here and there, but yeah, it's tough. And then what about Gavin Gerhardt? I just think his importance bridging between one of the most successful eras in Cincinnati football history into now this new era. I think looking back, you'll kind of see that he was kind of a rock cornerstone to having the importance along with Dontay to just really bridge the two eras together.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to argue on that point.
I mean, 3-time captain. There's only a handful of times in program history that somebody's been a captain for 3 years.
Yep.
That'll be in the Zach Stipe game notes. But
That will
yeah, it's not. I think they were waiting for it to become official. But I think there's only like 3 or 4 times it's happened in the entire history of the program that somebody has been a captain 3 years straight.
Aaron sent that to the group chat. So, Aaron, go ahead and announce the captains. It's on x.com, the Everything app as well. But, Aaron, who we got?
Yeah, your 4 captains are officially Gavin Gerhardt, as aforementioned, Dontay Corleone, Brendan Sorsby, and Logan Wilson.
Mm-hmm. He's going to get under some people's skin. All right. Up next, Dontay Corleone, the Godfather, will be a first-team All-American while not ranking in the top 3 in sacks on the team.
I don't think he'll be a first-team All-American, unfortunately. He's more of a nose than a defensive tackle. I think there's those pass rushing tackles that teams, play with are going to get more counting stats.
Variety, yeah.
It would take another, remember the thing that threw him in the national conversation is PFF had him as the number 1 defender in the country.
Yep.
If that happens again, then it's possible, but I don't know that he'll have the counting stats.
Yeah.
I hope you're right that he's not top 3 in sacks, because it would mean guys from the edge are popping off. I think he's going to be top 3 in sacks, because I think there are just going to be times where he just bullies, like he's going to get one-on-one and he's going to end up in the quarterback's lap. So I think he'll end up top 3 in sacks.
He finished 3rd last year for what it's worth.
And Bartlett, it wasn't a great year for him.
No. Bartlett 1, Phillips 2, Dontay 3.
And PFF loves Dontay because they actually sit down and watch every single snap and grade the impact. But, these guys that vote for this All-American teams, they're not sitting down and watching the havoc he causes and how important his role is and how he eats double teams and why that's so important on a defense. And if they look at the stat sheet, which they're probably going to look at, for how they determine this stuff, there's going to be a lot of times where he made the play, meaning by causing someone else to go get a sack or get a TFL or affect the quarterback, and the quarterback has to throw it out of bounds. But that'll never show up on the stat sheet. And so that's why he's always consistently at the top of PFF, because they actually sit down and watch his tape and know that, and that's why that translates so well into the NFL. So I don't think he's going to be on the first team, but I think he's have a damn good year, and we're all going to know it because we're going to be sitting there watching every play, and we'll know his impact.
Oh yeah,
I co-sign that to a T. I think Dontay has always been a guy who doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet in the ways that scream All-American, but just who he is both on and off the field, who he is on the sidelines, who he is in the huddle, there's so many intangibles about that dude that he brings to a team that, God, we're all going to miss him so much next year.
The Godfather, baby. Yeah. For what it's worth, he has finished top 3 each of the last 3 seasons in sacks. But, if the team just raises up as a total, it wouldn't be hard for him to just still have a great season, but not necessarily be the tops in the sacks. Staying on the sack subject, which, by the way, is an interesting thing because, and Ryan, you can probably be a little bit better with this. The 3-3-5, I don't know how important truly sack numbers are. Obviously, sack numbers are very important, but Iowa State and Arizona State last year, both were not huge sack number teams. I think probably just QB pressures is the most important. Yeah. So, but
it's very the reality is people get mad because we're not mansplaining the 3-3-5. There's a lot of different variations of the 3-3-5. We're just letting you know specifically what variation Cincinnati runs. When you have 3 defensive linemen, this is why everybody hates it and immediately goes to put 4 down linemen. It's a numbers game.
Yeah.
If you've got 3 guys at the point of attack getting the numbers to beat the 5
Hmm.
is difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Difficult. So that's why people don't like it. The reason that it's the thing that everybody does now is because there's 4 and 5 potential pass catchers on the field at all times, and you have to guard that. And it's hard to guard that with big fat guys. So, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah.
The athletes in college football are getting better and better every year, and the coordinators are freaking mad scientists just finding different route combinations, different ways to find space. So that's why you see a lot of teams transitioning to the 3-3-5. But the most important thing for a defense, obviously, like the most blatant one, is limit the amount of points scored. And that therefore meaning the direct translation to points scored is explosive plays. So limit explosive plays to limit points scored on you. And then that you will win more games than you lose. And the 3-3-5, it helps bottle up an offense and keep guys in front, keep guys in lanes, keep guys in zones, keep guys in front of you. It has a lot of guys coming down to be able to stop the run, and limit explosive running plays if they do their job. But that's my one gripe with the 3-3-5 is that it puts guys in a little bit of an uncomfortable spot with open field tackling, and you have guys having to scream down like from extended yardage, comparable to a D lineman at the point of attack and a linebacker, which could lead to some issues. But I think I think that's something they've definitely been working on. But the way the 3-3-5 can lead to sacks is not by just you essentially create different fronts with different alignments and different exotic blitzes between your linebackers, your safeties, different pick games, stunt games up front, where you can overload one side, or you can pick a guy coming over from the weak side to the strong side to create a one-on-one. And that different ways, that's what we did a really good job. Our third down defense, we would run the 3-3-5 even before we fully transitioned away from the 4-man front, did 3-3-5 on every down. But just being able to give that offensive line a different look by bringing up a different guy on the line of scrimmage and having him pick inside and roll a defensive lineman out or vice versa, that is how the 3-3-5 can really lead to some sacks and explosive plays in the backfield on dropbacks. So, and I think that's something that you're going to see a lot more of this year. You have another year of comfortability with the players and the coaches. So anticipate more sacks and pressures, but it's not going to be just from the D line. It's going to be from linebackers. Maybe the safety is going to fly in there. I mean, remember all those times we run corner blitzes too. I don't know if they're going to have that on the call sheet, but
they don't have Sauce Gardner. So.
Hey, you get someone lined up on the boundary, just run a little cover 2 look over the top, send that corner. No one even sees him coming, man. It's a great call, but it is a little bit of a gamble sometimes. But
it is. I think the main thing from last season, obviously, is just like not only was it the lack of pressure, it was just like it did seem as games wore on, like the D line was just non-existent in getting any pressure. So just being able to get some sort of pressure is better, even if you don't even get sacks. But
the quarterback can't be a statue. They can't just stand there and wait for somebody to run open. They will run open, no matter how. You could have 9 guys in coverage. It can be 4 wide receivers against 9 defenders, and they're going to run open eventually. Yep. Somebody's going to get open.
Agreed. So kind of staying in that same ilk, the leading sack man from just the defensive line will be a player who is not a starter on the first defensive snap next Thursday.
Yeah.
Chad kind of plays into what I said.
I think Micah Coleman starts. I think CJ McCray, from everything we've seen, I think CJ McCray is the guy that gets the most sacks on the defensive line. And if it's not him, I would say it's probably going to be Marquez Parker.
Okay.
So neither of those two guys right now are slotted with the first team.
See, how am I not supposed to be excited when you're talking about two dudes vying for sack leader coming off the bench?
It's because I don't think Micah Coleman's going to get a lot of sacks.
Regardless, that's still exciting.
Look, if those two guys have 2 each and Micah Coleman has 1 on the season, then they had more.
That wasn't the tone that I caught in your voice. We weren't talking 1 and 2. Nah.
2 and 3?
I mean, that's
Royer's going to swoop in and say the Godfather is going to lead the D line in sacks.
I don't see it. It's not his game.
I know.
What if it was Jake Golday, though, coming in?
He's not D line.
Well, it depends on where he's lining up, I suppose. If he's coming in.
No,
he's a
playing
linebacker.
Yeah, I get it.
Don't worry. He's the next question, Aaron. He's the next question.
All right. Well, I'm good with I'll take Chad's word for it with CJ McCray being a dude.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it.
Yeah, I agree. I think Hunt and Coleman do seem like to be kind of that more stop the run, get them in a third and long scenario. Then all of a sudden you have the other guys that have been able to show the ability to get after the passer a little bit more. So, after a successful bowl appearance season, Jake Golday will hear his name first of the Bearcats taken in the 2026 NFL draft after leading the team in tackles.
That's reasonable.
The first Bearcat.
He'll be the first Bearcat taken. I mean, he's gonna be a freak in testing.
Right. That's what I based it on for the most part.
And he's gonna blow people away in interviews. He's an awesome kid. He's about the right things. So none of that, like there are no character concerns that can hold him back. I think that's reasonable.
The Godfather and Royer will be the two that kind of push him for.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the way you mentioned testing, and I think he's going to be like trending. If he has another really good year, like he's kind of like hitting his stride, like going right into the NFL, doubling down on it with good testing numbers. Whereas like you have a guy like Dontay who he might not blow you away testing outside of the bench, and he's kind of been like consistently there, and he's older than Jake too, right? By a year or 2.
I think so, yeah. I think 1.
Okay. I mean, if Royer has a great year and he's like vying for a tight end of the year in college football, NFL loves tight ends. I don't know what his testing numbers are like. I mean, he looks like he's been hitting the weight room good. He looks, he looks strong. He looks like he's
on
like
the freak
leaned
list
out.
Yeah. Again. Yeah.
So I have no idea what he would be putting up in comparison to everyone else, but I can definitely see him having a great year and then, getting taken pretty early. But
yeah, I think
it's between Royer and Golday.
I think the other thing that NFL teams kind of love is the fact that he's a little bit raw at the position. He's had experience playing, on the edge, on the defensive line, and obviously has a basketball background. So it's kind of like, NFL teams might be like, wow, he's blowing up on the scene and we can really bring him in. And he's not even scratching the surface yet, to quote one of my favorite guys in the world. So, yeah.
The biggest problem with Dontay is measurables. Like he's just not the tallest, longest, and the NFL still runs a lot of 4 down. Like there's not a lot of 3 down line teams in the NFL.
No.
So, the value there and just like a true nose tackle, there's value in it, but he's not gonna go to the combine and like wow people with his wingspan, his height. It's gonna be more like
turn on the tape
decision. Yeah. So yeah, I would say that's the thing that would, I think Dontay still gets selected fairly early, but in terms of like, I think with Royer and Golday, the upside is probably early second, mid second round. Like that's the ceiling for those two guys. McCray had him at what, 31st or whatever.
Yeah.
Royer. I think that upside is higher than Dontay, which is probably like third round, late second, third round, like at the pinnacle.
I think if you go back to even some of the other positions that we've been talking about, like if Royer has, or I'm sorry, not Royer, if Sorsby has a magnificent season, finishes somewhere between 3,500 and 4,000 yards, if one of these offensive linemen ends up on the first team, I still don't know that that's enough to get them into that higher, like even day one, considering when you think about the SEC, when you think about the Big Ten and who they're offering up at those same positions. So that would be something that I don't know that it's necessarily conference or if it's Cincinnati not being at that level yet with some of those other schools for somebody to be taken that high at one of those other positions.
Yeah. And the other part of that you guys haven't really mentioned is that he leads the team in tackles. You guys all agree with that?
I think that's fair, yeah. Although
second
I
on
have
the
a dark
team
horse.
last year.
I have a dark horse.
Uh-oh.
Simeon Coleman.
Ooh.
I think he's going to have a lot of tackles.
Okay.
A lot of tackles.
He had some games last year as a true freshman where he led. I think he either led the team or he was like second in tackles. So
you said Bartlett led last year, right?
Yes, I do think so. Yeah, yes, he did. And then second was Golday.
Yeah.
Which by the way, if Sorsby threw for more passing yards than Gino did, he'd be top 10 in the country based off of what everyone passed for last year. So I mean, he'd be right there.
3,500 would be top 10 in the country.
Yeah, 11th was Rocco Beck at 35.05. 10th is Cade Klubnik at 36.39. So he'd be right there at 11, 10. But yeah, so there we go. Next one. Here we go. The defense will have as many or more interceptions than they had the past 2 seasons combined. Last year was 5 interceptions. The year before was 8. So you're looking at 13 interceptions.
I'm going to go no until I see it. They just have not done a great job creating turnovers. Just haven't.
Averaging 1 a game, I think it's crazy. I think especially if you have one of those games against one of your earlier 3 games, not Nebraska, where you have 2 or 3 in one of those games. All of a sudden you're kind of coasting as far as averaging 1 a game. I think they can do it. Plus, I don't know that I'm the second season in Tyson Veit's system. I think is crucial to the growth of this defense, and I think that we're going to see with the emphasis we heard from both Braithwaite and Hicks as taking over the secondary position coaches. I think the ceiling is so much higher.
Royer?
I don't know. 13.
It's a lot.
1 a game does sound like a lot because there's going to be games where they don't have any. That's fine.
Yeah, so you're going to have games where you need 2 or 3.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think the number is going to be right around 10. I think they're going to take a step up from their best, but their best was with a different D coordinator, and last year being 5. I can see them, really showing some different looks, confusing the quarterback, confusing the OCs, having guys drop into different parts of the field that we weren't dropping in last year. And I think we're also going to get at the quarterback a little bit more with some exotic looks. So I think it's fair, right, to say 9 to 10, but 13 just seems a little too steep.
Yeah. 16 in 2019, 16 again in 2020 in only 10 games, and then 19 in 2021. Those Bearcats were ball hawks. I bet you're talking about all NFL
The
players.
best secondary in the country.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, I think 13 is a high number. I agree. But I think you got to get to, double digits, like 10, I think would be a good benchmark to hit, especially with how rough it had been the previous 2 years. All right, next one. Max Fletcher will be a finalist for the Ray Guy Award, and as well will be an All-American honors for the season. And then the special teams will also produce its first return touchdown since 2022 when trivia time. Who had a kickoff return for a touchdown in 2022? Let's see if you guys can remember. If you can't think of it, it stumped me. I forgot about it as well.
I can see it.
Because it's not Trey Tucker and it's not Tyler Scott.
No.
Is it Chuck?
Nope. Good guess though.
I don't know.
This man played with Ryan Royer. Then he transferred after the 2022 season. He is a wide receiver. His name is Jaden Thompson.
Jaden Thompson. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remembered like it. I could see it visually in my brain, but I couldn't remember who it was.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So Max Fletcher, finalist for Ray Guy, All-American, and a punt return / kick return touchdown. 1.
Yes to the return touchdown. I don't think I'm not anticipating that. I think he's having a great year, but I don't know if he's
I think he'll be a Ray
jump.
Guy finalist. I think he will be.
Really?
I mean, his stats from
All-American?
Yeah, because Ryan,
years ago, he
remember,
was considered the second best punter in the nation.
yeah, that's what he has the pedigree. Like his name, yeah, it's a little bit forgotten because he redshirted last year, but he is a known commodity as a national name punter. Like he's not going to be surprising people. He averaged 47 plus yards a punt.
All right.
At Arkansas.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah. With hang time.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know enough about punters for the All-American thing.
Right.
But I do think he'll be a Ray. I think he's going to be a Ray Guy finalist.
Yeah. Okay. What about a kickoff / punt return touchdown? I mean, you got like,
No.
You don't think so? Just don't have the firepower back there.
Maybe they do. I don't know. I got to see.
Right.
It's not like we're watching a bunch of punt and kick returns at camp to like
Agreed.
really.
Something's
really
got to be
know.
better than the last 2 seasons, though. I just think basketball can draw up something that'll be a little bit better than what we saw the last 2 years.
Oh, I think it'll be better. I just like
It's
it
hard
takes
to get
everything breaking right for you to take one to the house.
Agree.
So I'll go no on that.
All right. These next 2 are kind of fun. Well, not fun, but a little bit easier quick hitters. The Bearcats will be ranked in the top 25 at some point this season for the first time in the Scott Satterfield era and the first time since November of 2022.
I think that depends on Nebraska. Like if you can beat Nebraska, the next 4 or 5 games set up for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't beat Nebraska, I don't think you can get there.
No.
Yeah.
So do you think they beat Nebraska? And I don't.
I agree. It all swings on Thursday because then you're going to win the next 2. I mean, knock on wood, but
Bowling Green will be tricky. Bowling Green's okay.
Yeah. Right. And then what you get, is it, let me see here. I don't want to put them in the wrong order. Yep. Then it's Kansas and Iowa State.
Beatable.
And then
UCF.
UCF.
Yeah. If you get through the UCF game 5-1, could be ranked.
Right. And then you play at Oklahoma State after that. So it's like you could be sitting there like 6-1-ish. if things
Yeah.
all break right.
Woo.
even
I mean,
though-
again, this is almost a repeat of last year.
Yep.
It opens up early if you can take advantage, and then it gets tough down the stretch.
6-1's bowling though.
Yeah.
Bowling in week 7.
Hey baby. Hey,
Just
we
roll
were
the
almost
helmets out there the rest of the year. It doesn't even
we're
matter.
almost Hey,
We're bowling.
Roy, we were almost bowling last year at 5-2, baby. We were sitting pretty.
You and Ryan were bowling in week 2.
Oh, we were, man. Believe me. Believe me. Last one. Next Thursday, the legend, Taylor Swift, will don the sea paw somewhere on her body.
I don't think she'll be there. I think Travis will be there. I don't think Taylor will be there.
I
Did you
agree.
not? They are so madly in love. She is 1,000% going to be there.
Okay.
This is one I could not care less about.
Oh,
Absolutely.
you lie.
Could not
Talk
care less
about
about.
you talk about Taylor more than anybody else on this podcast.
You are a closet fan. I guarantee you like shut your laptop after finishing these podcasts and you like lay down on the couch, you put on your lipstick and you just listen to Taylor Swift. And
Why'd you make me Steve Buscemi?
Thank you. I was hoping you would pick up on that. But yeah, that's it for superlatives. Pretty fun one, a little bit different than, hey guys, who's gonna lead the team in tackles?
I thought that was good, Brent. I actually enjoyed that as opposed
Yeah, that was
to the
great.
normal format. I like that a lot.
Very good. All right, let's
Thank you,
timestamp
sir.
and get this thing
Well
rolling.
done. Timestamp brought to you by Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company. For all your non-food products, they provide mostly disposable restaurant supplies. To-go containers, cups, pizza boxes, to-go bags, can liners, napkins. They've been open since 2009 and are one of the largest minority-owned companies in the city. Call Nick 513-470-2029 and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases.
Boom. Can we do a quick riff or should we mailbag? I mean, we're already at 112. What are we thinking? Do you have...
like a 2-question riff without the shenanigans.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it, Roy.
All right. A little bit of a teaser feel out with your guys' feelings on this Arrowhead game.
Okay.
Where does your confidence meter sit for a victory?
I
can give you my rundown. My rundown is
on the fence. Coin flip. I don't know.
Like the fan, the alumni in me, like has this confidence, and then like we talk to like Scott, Vite, Nico, we see the growth, and you're just like, oh, I could see him going in there and doing this thing. But then you're just thinking about like Nebraska, another year with Matt Rule, Dylan Raiola, young guy, had a solid year in his first year. You're thinking he's only going to be better, looking to be a real general this season. So I don't know. But it's that's what makes it hard for me to really feel confident about any. I am confident it's going to be a good game. I don't think our boys are going to walk in there and get steamrolled or anything. I think it's going to be they're going to have a chance, but I just can't get myself to say like we're going to win this game and turn the tides of this program.
Yeah. So like it is funny. We see sunshine and rainbows during camp talk, and then you get all sparkly and fuzzy feelings about Sorsby being able to like take off and how important this game is. You know how damn important this game is for Nebraska too. Like they've been like shit for since 2018, and it's like
16.
Rule. Yeah, 16. Matt Rule is supposed to be the guy that takes that next step, and they've got this blue chip quarterback that's supposed to be an NFL player. That is Patrick Mahomes Part 2. So like, it is weird to like think about that double side of things. So that's why I'm kind of with Aaron on the 50-50. Like, I'm not going into it thinking we're going to lose, but I'm also like extremely optimistic guy, but I'm not going into it thinking like, yeah, bet the house on money line, even though I will be betting the house on money line come 8:45 right before kickoff. No doubt about that in my mind. So I'm kind of with Aaron though. Like like a true 50-50. Like I don't have any feelings that we're going to lose, but I also don't have any like extreme confidence that we're going to win. Which
I think
the
the
weird
biggest
place to be at.
biggest thing that I think that Cincinnati's going to face is the fact that you have a stadium that is known for being as loud as Arrowhead is known for being, full of Nebraska fans, like legitimately just full of Nebraska fans. I think that the ratio is going to be insane for how many more Nebraska fans are there than Cincinnati fans. And I think that'll be probably the biggest adversary that Cincinnati faces in that game, even more so than anything that Patrick Mahomes' little doppelganger brings.
What about you, Chad? You just firmly stated you don't think they're going to win before this question.
I mean, I think they've got a chance to win. I just, in that environment, like I would say I'm like 60-40 Nebraska. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think Nebraska's, I mean, like Nebraska's really interesting if you're paying attention to all of the information that is coming out as we head up to the season. There's some things that have them as high as top 25. There's other things that I've seen that have had them in the 40s. You know, and in the 40s puts them pretty close to Cincinnati. So, you know, I don't know fully what to expect from Nebraska.
Yeah.
They say their defense is going to be excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the belief, is that they're going to have a top 15, 20 level defense. I don't know. Like, if their defense is as good as people think, it could be a frustrating night in that environment with all those Nebraska fans. But I don't think, you know, I think if Cincinnati comes out and can withstand that early like rush.
Yeah.
And this is the one thing I've seen that does give me a little bit of pause on Nebraska, and I'm sure Dave and I will get into this next week when we do like the Nebraska preview the night before the game. They're young. Like, they're one of the younger teams in the country. What is week one?
Get up early.
Lights of Arrowhead.
Yeah. Get up early, put pressure on them. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what is, and that is something for all the, you know, hemming and hawing on Satterfield. His teams have been pretty good early in games.
Yeah.
The problem has been holding on or what happens after, you know, going into halftime, out of halftime, and in the fourth quarter. Those have been kind of the issues.
See Pittsburgh, see West Virginia.
Yeah, if you get up with a little bit of a lead on them, does the pressure start to mount on a younger team? I don't, you know, if I had to guess, I'd go 60-40 Nebraska is like my odds right now. I maybe I can talk myself down to 55-45 by the time the game rolls around, but the advantages point towards Nebraska. And I don't think there's any way I'm going to get myself all the way around that. Like, the best unit of the you know, the offense, defense, special teams for both teams, Nebraska should have the best unit on the field with their defense. I'm not as high on their offense as maybe some are. I also still have questions about Cincinnati's defense because I don't know what a successful pass rush looks like in this system. And I don't know that they're at that point yet where they're a 15-16 turnover team. So if you can't get after the quarterback and you're not forcing turnovers, the other team's offense is going to have some success. You know, I don't think this is, you know, one of the things that made you guys so great, Ryan. You couldn't run on you, really. Like, teams could get some empty calorie yards.
Well, unless you're Alabama.
But they also have an offensive line that could have been uncles. Look like the uncles of our defensive line. So, that's a little bit. Nebraska's not rolling out there with 5 NFL draft picks like Alabama does. So I don't know, man. I want to be a little bit more confident, but I'm still guarded just because of how we've seen things go. If it was in Lucas Oil, maybe I feel a little differently. Just saying. But it's in Arrowhead. We have to deal with it being in Arrowhead. I think it's probably 40% chance for Cincinnati to win in my estimation.
Okay.
Munchie's last second heroics were not in Arrowhead Stadium. They were in Washington, D.C. Or get Munchie's last second heroics in Arrowhead Stadium, I guess is maybe what he's saying.
That is the thing too. Like in those week 1 games, and you see them all across the nation, it's like which quarterback really can step up and make some like huge plays. Like, I mean, Dez did it against UCLA in that first game that he played out there in the Rose Bowl. It's like who can make those small like game-changing plays, and it normally boils down to the quarterback. So we'll see. All right, Roy.
Yeah.
All right. We'll just keep with the topic of this game because I want to have a little bit more generalized questions with this Nebraska game and then get in a little bit more details next week leading up.
Yeah.
So if the Bearcats win, is it a bigger win than the 2018 UCLA game? Because I know we've been making a lot of comparisons on, it kind of being the programs and kind of the same kind of area, and you have a big game that can really propel this team. But, this team is different and there's different people, involved. So do you think that a win on Scott Satterfield's part in Arrowhead is bigger than a Luke Fickell win against Chip Kelly at the Rose Bowl?
I'll make the argument that they are about as equal as you can get, only because the implications at the end of the season would be about the same. If you can catapult yourself with a Nebraska win, I think that puts you into a nice spot going into conference play. And at the end of the season, granted, the playoff is a bit expanded at this point, but I think you're playing for the college football playoff, or at least in contention for it, which was the same thing that Luke and company were doing as well. So I think that the stakes are about the same if you can win.
I would say this year is more important. Just because it is just so critical because the fan base is they're just right there, and in 2018 it was like year 2 for Luke Fickell, like different things of that sort, kind of like it ended up being like a huge catalyst for what happened years following. But as far as just this season, this one game itself, I would say this year is more important because you lose it and you look bad doing it. Like, golly, I don't want to see what that Bowling Green crowd is talking, and as things continue to push forward. But you win it, fans are all the way back in. Fans are going to those next couple of games, win, then you might have the odds for a pretty good year, at least fan support and packing the nip and whatnot. So, I don't know. It's a good question though, because I think obviously 18 was a catalyst for some of the best years ever.
I think this Nebraska team is a lot better than that UCLA team. What we found out after the fact was that UCLA team was pretty bad. Yes. Like legitimately not a good football team.
Right.
And everybody just assumed year 1 of Chip Kelly that would be, UCLA would bounce back. They were not good. And I think especially when you look at their schedule, Nebraska has a chance to have a pretty good year. And like I said, if their defense is as good as people expect it to be, then they're gonna win some games. So I'll say it's tougher just for the fact that you're playing a better team, in a tougher environment. Like, Ryan, the Rose Bowl wasn't exactly a raucous environment that day, was it?
No, they had the sections tarped off with the UCLA banners,
Yeah.
Little country club vibes out there, I'll tell you
Oh
that.
man.
So that's it. Good job, Ryan. That was a fun riff segment. But you know what? I'm the point guard right now. You did text me. Remember, we were texting. Just real fast, guys. You're like, how pumped are you? Week 0, it's here. Guess what? That first game is in Dublin, Ireland. You got little Iowa State versus little Kansas State. Like, a lot of fun out there. And you said, hey, Brent, if money was not an issue, if money was endless, if you had the same bank account as I did, and I said, damn, Ryan, talk that stuff, baby. Where would you want the Bearcats to play an opening season game that you would be able to attend that is outside of the 48 interlocked states of the US of A? Where would you want that first game to be? Real quick around the horn. Chad, where are you picking?
Somewhere nice.
Mhm.
Like, can we do they do those games in the Caribbean somewhere? They got
We can do it.
stadiums down there.
We can do it.
I don't want to go to somewhere like cold and dreary. Don't they do something like the Spain? Isn't Spain now a thing hosting some football games?
Okay, yeah.
I want to go to Spain. I've heard great things about Spain. Like, let's play a season opener in Spain. How about that?
I like it. Aaron, what you got?
Hawaii's new stadium. Easy.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
It's an easy.
Royer?
Give me over in UK with the raucous Premier League crowds just as bought into American football as they are for when their boys square off in soccer.
Like
Throw
our
it
boy
there.
Greg's saying.
Yeah. Just get the pints flowing with the blokes out in Britain, get everyone involved, riot personnel blocking off Bearcat fans from name whoever. Everyone's rocking their jerseys, going crazy, hit the pub after. I think that would be quite epic.
I agree. Which is why I'm going to say Dublin. Let's go to Dublin.
Yeah.
Ireland, where the Guinness flows like milk. Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Let
it
churn, baby. Let it
that
churn.
First, but I thought I had to pick something outside of the game.
Well, then, hey, I think Wembley, you think Dublin, and then we'll both go to the same ones. And then,
Yes.
We'll make it happen. Very good. That's Riffing with Royer. I'm so happy we got that last question in. God, we're churning.
Lucille, the Bearcat, Lucy or Lucille, they're from like Southeast Asia.
The
Tokyo, little Tokyo game.
Okay. I can
I
get
could
down
go
with
to
that.
Tokyo for a game.
I can get down with
That'd be
that.
a fun trip.
Southeast Asia. Good call. Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's get into the mailbag. Sponsored by our good friend Greg Hoodin. Buy your newer pre-owned Toyota from Greg Hoodin at Beachmont Toyota. Contact a fellow Bearcat member and look, one of the most enthusiastic, positive members of the UC community on social media. You can find him at Cincy Greg Hoodin on Twitter and Instagram. You can find him on Facebook. You can find him on LinkedIn. But he works at Beachmont Toyota. So go to Beachmont Toyota, find our good friend Greg. Make sure you ask for him when you stop in, and he will get you taken care of. I actually, girlfriend is early in the market for a car. She had some questions this weekend. We called Greg. He answered her questions, and when it's not 100,000 degrees out, we're gonna stop into Beachmont Toyota and check in with Greg.
Love it.
Greg, DM me what you want the scrolling banner at the bottom of your segment to be 200 characters or less. Appreciate you. All right. Let's get into this mailbag. Now we got Greg's picture up here in the corner with the Bearcat and no scroll. But in any case, we are here for the mailbag. Let's start in the football portion of the mailbag. Let's have you pick the players on the team for a snake draft pick for 3 rounds. Defensive special teams is 1 unit. scoring or throwing touchdown, 1 point. Any other touchdown, receiving, rushing, recovery, 2 points. No points for field goals because we don't want to encourage those trips. And the community gets all of their players. And let's see who gets the most points by the end of the year. I see what you're doing. Maybe we'll do that off air and let you know the results. Unless you want to do this here. It just seems
It might be Brent, work this in next week.
I got it. Don't worry.
The one thing we love here is a good snake draft because they've always been so incredibly entertaining and definitely have never made me want to gouge my eyeballs with a Chipotle fork.
Oh, come on.
See, I would go with scraping my eardrums with a grapefruit spoon.
Yeah, that too.
Wow.
Can I do both? Poke my eyes with a Chipotle fork and get the grapefruit spoon in my eardrum?
I don't know why you're doing anything to your eyes. You're not seeing the snake draft. It's just...
things that I would rather do than
like that.
drafts.
Like that movie Bird Box. Is that what you're talking
Brent,
about?
you did a great job coming up with a different way to do the superlatives. Maybe next week you come up with something to make this more appealing than when we've done snake drafts in the past.
I got you.
Okay, good.
All right. Write that down. All right. The next question in the mailbag. I see Chad going on the shows of other teams to discuss Bearcat matchups. These conversations are great to hear perspectives of upcoming foes. Can we do these segments with you hosting reporters from other teams? I know
we have done it. We have done it in the past.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. The reason that we stopped doing it is the numbers were terrible. People did not watch. They did not listen. They listen much more frequently when Dave and I just have our own discussion about the opponent that upcoming week. That's why we stopped. We used to do a lot of stuff with opponent media, and it just never became something the fan base connected with in terms of what the analytics look like on the back end.
some of the guests were more the social media and writing format as opposed to the podcast format as well. When you're doing podcasts from the front seat of your car while the air conditioning is blasting because you're in 102-degree heat, that doesn't spell for success.
So I appreciate it. If there's somebody we know that we're comfortable with, maybe we'll try to work that in a little bit more. But
Kansas State was good. Kansas State was good. I mean, Baylor was good. We've had some
a
good
couple
ones
that are decent. Yeah, it just didn't. We would literally see numbers drop on the weeks that we had those guests as opposed to the weeks that we did it ourselves, which is why we transitioned into just handling it with Dave and I having conversations about those teams. The other thing, you don't get a lot of honest, there's not a lot of people that go on other stuff and give you the honesty that we give you. They come on and the other team is the greatest thing in the history of the earth, and everything that they do is a strength and nothing that they do is a weakness. And poor lowly Cincinnati is lucky to show up. And I think that could be why the numbers weren't great on some of those, because people just don't want to hear it. They want a legitimate breakdown of what the other team's good at and not so good at.
All right. Weird seeing Jason Kelsey on the TV during halftime shows. And the last question in the football portion of the mailbag. I've seen all kinds of projections for the Bearcats ranging from 4 wins to being a dark horse candidate to win the conference and make the CFP. Which do you think this team is closer to actually achieving out of those two extremes? What's Vegas having at 4.5 total? I think
no 6.5.
Is it up to 6? Okay.
Such a far jump. I mean, they could fall apart a lot easier by just relying on past struggles, and they could turn in on themselves. Then, I mean, going to pulling off a 10-win season and winning the conference or 10 to 11 wins is, I think that's just really far down the road. And not if they can win 8 games this season, I see that happening at some point. I think the trajectory is there, but for them to just jump all the way up there and do it this year, I think is a lot more difficult than for them to be a 4-win team.
I mean, I think if there's a year that they do it, it would be this year because Sorsby, Corleone, Golday, Royer, like all those guys are like big name, like important, crucial pieces, and they're all going to be gone. So it's like if there's one year that they could do a crazy jump out of nowhere and win all those 1-2 score games, I think that would probably be this season. But so as far as this question goes, I think 4 wins would be the more likely scenario. I like 8 wins and a good bowl game, I think would be awesome. Like 8 wins to get to 9 wins with a bowl win. But yeah, I mean 10 wins and a dark horse to the college football playoff. That's like, that's a mighty jump.
My guess is when we go through this exercise on Wednesday with Dave, I land at 7. I think that's about where I'm at. Now, there might be a variation. I might talk myself into 8, but it won't be confidently. I think this is a 6-7 win team this year with the caveat, if they don't self-destruct at levels that we have seen the past 2 seasons, we'll see. Like they could gain some momentum and get some confidence. And you know, there weren't many games where they were out of it early, especially last year. 2 years ago, it happened late. But in reality, I think I'm about 7. But if they can't fix that, the fatal mistake, the fatal critical error at a critical junction, the play that we're talking about for 3 days that changed the game, if they can erase that, they've got a pretty high upside.
Yeah.
But if they can't erase that, 4, 5, 6 wins. Like all of them are, all the things are on the table in a league that, again, I don't see a top 15 team. Maybe somebody gets there by the end of the year, but I think there will be enough fuckery that happens Saturday to Saturday in the Big 12 that I just don't think there's a top 15 team in this league. And I don't think, you know, maybe West Virginia, maybe Arizona, maybe UCF, maybe Oklahoma State again, maybe one of them bottoms out, but I don't think the bottom of the league is going to be terrible. So I'm probably going to be around 7. So I think it's closer to in the middle, but I think if you told me 10 and conference championship game, I'd be much more surprised than if you told me 4. If you told me 4, I can see how it happens. 10, I gotta have a pretty creative imagination to get there. They go 7-0 at home. Can they go 7-0 at home?
Beat Nebraska
and 3-2 away from home.
Yeah.
So beat Nebraska, go 2-2 in the Big 12 road games, the 4
Beat
Big 12
Kansas.
road games.
Yeah.
And then win every home game, which I would be pretty floored if we're going into late November talking about the Bearcats looking for their 10th regular season win and a spot in the Big 12 title game.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
All right. That ends the football portion of the mailbag. Let's get into the basketball portion of the mailbag. If Jizzel wants to leave and transfer to another school, could he transfer and play this year, given there is not currently an open transfer period? I
You
give
just
BYU's
answered your own question. No, you cannot. That is not an option for him.
You can't just enroll at another school and be a walk-on.
I don't think so. No, I don't think the NCAA would allow it. I
I
think
think
they'd
transfer
rule you
portal is for walk-ons too.
Yeah, it is.
That's isn't that what just happened with the kid at BYU though?
He's not playing this year, is he?
Yeah, I don't think he's playing this year.
I thought
You can
didn't he go to
transfer,
school?
you just can't play.
I thought he was on Tulane's team.
Okay, he can be on the team. He can't play.
I thought the same too. That got me, Aaron.
Maybe I'm wrong. I sincerely thought he was eligible to play on Tulane's team. And if the NCAA, if he took the NCAA to court, I don't see the NCAA winning because they don't win anything.
I mean, I don't know. I guess
Oh,
it says he expected to enroll soon and walk on per sources and compete for the starting job. If that's the case, what the fuck is the point of the transfer portal?
right. Well, I guess the walk-on part.
That was the whole case against it, though. Is it's imaginary, and who cares? That's what they're saying. Is this kid ran into a situation where he was kicked off the team for rules that BYU has for their university, and he still wanted to play, so he left and enrolled. And I don't think you can tell a kid that he can't enroll. And at that point, how do you tell a kid that he can't just try out for a team and be a walk-on?
I don't know how you allow that to happen.
I hope they do. I think the floodgates would be with all the craziness. I think it'd be hilarious.
Retzlaff's transfer is an unconventional one in the mechanics of how it worked because of the timing of his decision to leave BYU. He couldn't enter the transfer portal. Instead, he withdrew from the school and plans to enroll at Tulane and technically will walk on to the team. So I guess, yeah, there you go.
It doesn't make any sense. Walk-ons still have to enter the transfer portal. Like JJ
Right.
Rimbert entered the transfer portal.
Exactly. It's weird.
I didn't write the story.
Well, maybe what? Because like the BYU dismissed him, or no, he didn't get dismissed, but
He was kicked off the team
Yeah.
for allegations that were later withdrawn, and it was a mess.
Yeah.
But
oh,
in any case, got to think long and hard about attending BYU for plenty of reasons. No pun intended with. Anyway. Moving on. Wes Miller has been a Division I head coach since 2011. He has been consistently average with an overall .578 record with identical winning percentages at both UNC Greensboro and UC. Specifically at UC in his 4 years, his teams have won 7 conference games 3 of those 4 years. If you had to convince a portion of the fan base who is bullish on Wes Miller, what would be your main topic points to sway them off that fence?
I'm done. I'm not convincing anyone of anything. Go win games. Make the tournament.
yeah,
Easy peasy.
experienced team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna, like, a lot of the preseason talk that we're gonna do later on is gonna be a lot of the same stuff that we were kind of saying last year, but with players that are transferring in instead of players that are returning. So, like Chad just said, just win. Just please win.
Like, look, there is no, if you've made up your mind on Wes, nothing I say is going to, it's like arguing politics with somebody that has no intention of listening to you.
Yeah.
There's no winning one way or the other. I would say his record at Greensboro was a tale of two halves, if you
It was
will.
horrible in the beginning because he didn't have
then
anything.
Great at the end. It's better than people think here, but it hasn't been great transitioning into the Big 12. When? Like, that's the only thing that's going to change anybody's mind. Nothing I say is going to change anybody's mind.
You're 4 years. You're 4 years in at an average of what? 30. We'll say 30 for simple math games per year. you're at 100. Oh, you're definitely over 100 games, closer to 120 than you are to 100. So you've certainly had a body of work to establish an opinion. So yeah, 4 seasons into a tenure, I don't think you're talking anybody into leaning one way or the other. I don't know how many people are on a fence at this point either. I think you're either all in on Wes or you're all the way out.
Yeah. Go win.
Mhm.
And the last question in the mailbag. When is the next Wes Miller press conference, and could he give us an official update with the future of Jizzel James?
I have no idea, and I have no idea. I'm out. I'm out. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not playing this fucking 5 p.m. to 6 a.m. fucking Instagram merry-go-round that this kid is on. I'm done. I'm done. So we'll either he'll be here when practice starts, when workouts start in a couple weeks, or he won't, and they'll announce he's not with the program. Like it's I'm a 47 going on 48-year-old man. I'm not doing this shit anymore.
Getting too old for this shit.
I'm just not doing it. Like I have a choice to pay attention to it or not pay attention to it. And if he's gonna crash out every 2 weeks and lose his fucking mind on social media, I'm done trying to keep up with it. I'm out.
I think he's a cancer to the team, and he needs to be removed at this point. So,
Given the back and like the thing with Sincere today,
yeah, it's.
I don't know the path forward.
There isn't.
I don't know.
There shouldn't be. That's not going to mend itself throughout the season.
I'm sure, Ryan, you saw your fair share of personalities in your time as a Bearcat.
Never one like this.
UC had one like this.
Well, it was never like out in the public like this, where he was.
Yeah.
This is.
It's absurd.
A whole new,
it's absurd.
It is.
I'm done.
Yeah, Chad, I completely understand what you're saying. You're like, I'm 48 years old, just watching a crashed out 20-year-old, and he's affecting the constant buzzing of my phone, and I have to address it at all points. But I mean, to play devil's advocate, it is a very media-inducing situation.
Sure,
it is insane.
I have
insane
sympathy
gets
for
clicks
whatever
on BCJ.
I have sympathy for whatever the kid's going through.
Mhm.
I no longer have any fucks left to give on the unknown off-season, shenanigans that we have seen. I'm good. I'm good. Somebody clearly had his phone for a while, and he just recently got it back.
Everyone has so much bandwidth, and yeah,
I'm out of bandwidth. I'm out of bandwidth.
That's the mailbag. Get us out of here, Brent.
10 days.
On a positive note.
10 days. 10 days. 10 days. Hey, 10 days. Caleb Goody. Taden Barnes. 10 days. 10 days away from kickoff of this 2025 season. Fun little superlative show for you guys here.
That was good, Brent. I'm proud of you. That was outstanding.
Very proud of you too. Proud of you all too.
So much positivity to end this show. I love it.
Shouts to Cincy Light in the Cincy Light studio. Shouts to our boy Greg Hoodin. Shouts to Quick Paper Supply. And shouts to my boy Danco Joe. Mr. Joe. Love you, Danco Transmission and Auto Care. But guys, for you know what, BCJ is going to be all over the lead up to that Nebraska game. Very, very important game for so many reasons. So stay locked in. But for the guys, for the crew, for the squad, for Aaron Smith, for Chad Brendel, for Ryan Royer, I am Brent Young. Yet again, another fantastic BBP presented by BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!